Automathletes, Larry Sorensen here, and today I'm going to connect with Desiree Winkel and find out what makes her an automathlete that's not done yet. Before we get started, remember, if you enjoy our content, like, subscribe, and ding that bell for notifications. All right, let's get into this. Desiree, thanks so much for joining us today. Why don't you kick us off with an introduction?
Hi, well, thank you. My name is Desiree Winkel. Originally born in Holland, live in St. Martin. I'm 57, nearly 58 years old, young, I should say. And I'm a very happy, positive person.
How about family and career?
Family, I have two siblings in Holland, living in Holland. And I'm a personal trainer, an event planner, and I'm writing a book at the moment.
Well, great to meet you, Desiree. Before we get started talking about what you're doing now, why don't you fill us in a little bit on your athletic history?
All right. So when I lived in Holland, the Netherlands, I basically was a hockey player and a goalkeeper for hockey for a long time. Then at the age of 24, I moved to the Caribbean. There I played a little bit hockey. I didn't do much on really specific sports. I was very active though, because my company, which was an event organizing company over there, also did a lot of sports related events. And yeah, basically when I moved to St. Martin, another Caribbean island, I picked up my mountain climbing that I did in my very, very young age. I was like 4 or 5 when I started that rock climbing.
So how did you get started rock climbing at 4 or 5 years old?
My dad was a mountain climber. He was more of an alpine climber than a rock climber, but he took us, my brother and my sister, in the weekends. He would take us to Belgium and Austria and France to climb little rocks, and then sometimes a little bit higher. And eventually I was climbing with him till I was about 12 or 13 years old. Then my parents divorced. I didn't see much of him. And unfortunately, he passed away in a mountain climbing accident when he was 50 and I was only 15 years old.
Through your adulthood, did you participate in any other athletic endeavors besides mountain climbing?
I did some bodybuilding competitions in Curacao. Basically that started a little bit as a joke. Somebody took me to a bodybuild competition. I was, in the meantime, I was already 37 years young, and yeah, I saw that competition, and then with my big mouth, I said, oh, I can do better. And he said, oh, you can? Well, show it to me. There's a competition in 5 months. Show me that you can participate. So of course, this is me, I'm competitive. So I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I started training, and funny enough, I won that competition. After that, I did another 3 or 4 competitions, and I won all of that, except for the last one that I placed number 3rd.
Okay. And then now you've gotten back into mountain climbing, and we're going to talk a little bit more of the specifics about that. But when did you start mountain climbing again?
In 2017, I really picked it up. Like I started to hike more, I started to climb. And then from that moment on, I started to basically thinking how I'm gonna climb more mountains with not so much financial input from myself, because I think when people hear mountain climbing, they kind of know it's an expensive sport, especially alpine climbing. And yeah, I started to look for sponsors, and I found local sponsors and some sponsors abroad. And I decided to make an adventure 7 summits before I turned 60. And that 7 summits is random summits, everything above 5,500 meters.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But I kind of want to know, is, you've been in athletics and throughout your entire life and gone through a couple of different types of disciplines. So did anybody or anything in particular inspire you along the way, whether that was when you were younger or even now, in your 40s and 50s?
My dad was a mountain climber. He was a very sportive person. So he gave me always the knowledge that it's very good for your health to do it, to be active and so on. Then because of the bodybuild competitions, they really made me focus to train to place number one, basically. So that was my inspiration. It was not really somebody else that inspired me so much. It's more that I noticed that my mindset changed a whole lot with bodybuilding. And I was a natural bodybuilder. And I noticed how strong my mindset became. And then I said, okay, well, if my mindset is so strong, I'm going to really 100% use that for even a bigger adventure. And then the mountain climbing came back.
Have you had any major setbacks along the way throughout your athletic career?
Yes, I did. With the hockey, I really damaged my leg in a selection game for the Dutch team. So I was kind of, they wanted me to have me for a goalkeeper in the Dutch team, but I messed up my whole knee, so I was like for 6 months out of the running. During the period of my bodybuilding, I broke my neck. So I had to fix that basically with training again and stuff like that. That's why I placed third after 6 months of surgery. That was pretty fast. And my last climb, unfortunately, I nearly died because of a pulmonary embolism. And that's 3 months ago.
And what exactly happened there? Was there something that caused that due to the altitude or just something else?
We have a mosquito here on the island that gives you Zika or chikungunya. And that's apparently, I found out later, that gives you deep vein thrombosis, can give to you. It's not sad that it happened. Apparently, I had already a thrombosis in my leg. I didn't know. I climbed my highest mountain so far. And when I came back from that mountain, I started to notice that I was extremely short of breath. And then I was in a remote area. They had to rescue me with a helicopter. I spent 7 days in Nepal in the hospital. And they found out that I had 3 blood clots in my lungs.
So you filled us in on some of your achievements in bodybuilding, and right now you've embarked on this 7 summit journey. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this journey, how it began, how it's progressed through? I know you just talked about the embolism issue, and then where are you at to achieving the overall goal that you set out for?
I have to look at my arm because I have it all tattooed on my arm. I started at 2022, the first summit. That was a summit in Peru. Then I went back to Peru. I did another summit. And let's say in 2 years, I climbed 6 summits. And so that means I only have 1 left. And that goes really, really well. In Nepal, the last trip that I made, I supposed to do 2 summits. So I was done with the 7 summits. But unfortunately, because the pulmonary embolism, I had to cancel the last mountain. And now in December, I will hopefully finish my 7 summits so I can start my new project in climbing.
Okay. Well, that leads me right into my question. So obviously you've got to finish that one. Do you have a new goal set in mind already after you complete this 7 summit? And what is it?
Yes. So I would like to climb 7 over 6,000 meter mountains. Coming close to 7,000 or even higher.
Mountain climbing is not something that everybody does. Obviously, you've got to be in shape. There's altitude. There's, just the trek upward and so forth. So tell us a little bit about the training regimen you put yourself through to enable you to do this mountain climbing.
Yeah, the downside for me is that I live on sea level. It's a Caribbean island. I live on sea level. So what I normally do, let's say 3 to 4 months before I leave for the trip, I start to train 15 hours a week, especially for this. And it includes weight training, balance, flexibility, and a lot of cardio. And cardio is mainly the stair climber, short running to make my VO2 max up to the next limit. And I also do a lot of hiking on the island.
So do you ever when you're doing that hiking training, do you ever put weights on or anything like that in order to try to, overtrain, so to speak, and get ready for that altitude change?
Yes, I have a backpack on my back when I do the hiking here, which is 18 kilos, which is completely the same as what I wear in the mountains. I don't go over 18 kilos, and on the stair climber, sometimes I use the backpack, and also I put on my boots, but also the mask. And yeah, it's a simulation of the altitude. It's not 100%, but it makes your lungs a little bit stronger. You just get less oxygen in. You can put it on different levels. And if I don't use my backpack on the stair climber, I use my weight vest of 10 kilos.
Do you do any technical climbing during this, or is it all trekking?
Depending of the mountain, but most mountains, I make sure that I have a route that is more technical climbing. So, for example, you have a 90 degrees wall that you have to come up, climbing up with ice axe and crampons, and yeah. And I do have in Bolivia, Peru, and Nepal, I have my own guide, so they really know me. They know what I can do, how technical I can climb. I still learn, of course, every time I learn, but every mountain has their own difficulties and their own little grills. Sometimes you have a lot of crevasses. Sometimes there's a lot of wind. There's so many different possibilities that things can go sideways. So you also mentally train on that.
Obviously, you put in a tremendous amount of physical effort in order to keep yourself in shape and be able to achieve these goals. But that's only part of the equation. So feeding your body, and obviously from your bodybuilding days, you've learned a lot about fueling your body. So tell us your approach to diet and nutrition, and then also how you incorporate rest in your workouts and so forth.
So in the morning, I start normally with 3 eggs and some strawberries. Then 1.5 hours after, I take a homemade oatmeal bread. It's with banana and nuts and eggs and all kind of dried fruit. Then I take, I'm pescatarian, so I don't eat meat, and I try really take my protein out of my food. So in the afternoon, in the lunchtime, I take a high protein part, a high carb part, and a lot of vegetables. Then I have some mid snack that can be from basically everything that is healthy. And then in the night, I lower the carbs a little bit, and I jam up the vegetables and the protein. I drink a whole lot of water. I make sure I eat enough beets. Also, when I go climbing, I have a beet extract I take that helps you with your blood flow. And I take a lot of electrolytes the whole day because I sweat a lot, and water is not enough for hydrating the body. And the rest period, that's a little bit difficult because I am a personal trainer. I teach my clients a lot. On top of that, I have to climb to work out myself. So in the night, I go to bed around 9, sleep around 10, 10:30, and then in the morning, I wake up at 4:45 a.m.
At this point in time, at 57 years old, what is your motivation to drive so hard and keep trying to push your body to its limits and attain these new goals?
I don't mind to be old, but I want to be very strong old. I believe that the stronger the body, the longer your longevity, the better you absorb life, the better you work with disappointments in life. It's just a whole overall picture that's my motivation to climb basically till maybe 70, 80, I don't know. But the body is capable of doing it if you maintain it.
So obviously you've been very successful with your athletics. If you could turn back time, is there anything you would have done differently?
Yes, I would have kept on climbing from very young age. I would never have stopped.
Okay.
There are too many mountains to climb.
So true. All right. So I always like to ask the secret sauce question, because people, generally come up and say, what's your secret? So if you have a secret sauce, tell us what those ingredients would be in that bottle.
Just be yourself and be completely stress-free. Don't stress about things. That's the worst thing you can do for your body. Just don't stress. Try to relax in everything. If you can change it, change it. If you can't change it, let it go. You can't change it, so let it go. Don't bother yourself with all kind of craziness in your head. If you can't change it, just accept it and just let it go.
So why don't you tell us, are you on social media? And if you are, give us a little idea of where we can find you.
You can find me in Instagram. That's basic, the best platform you can find me. It's fitness_Desiree with double E, like desire with double E, _Winkel, WINKEL. And when people find me on that platform, they can follow me. They have tips about food, they have tips about training, they have motivational videos, and also we're working at the moment on a website that is nearly done, where people can sign up for a conversation with me, how to establish a good lifestyle while you're extremely busy.
As always, we will post all of her social medias in the description below. But there is also one other thing that you were talking about with me that I'd like you to elaborate on, and that is your writing.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm writing a book. It's soon to be finished, about a big part of my life. And basically, when people see that book or read that book, it will be absolutely understandable why I never give up in life.
Well, Desiree, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to let us know what makes you an autumn athlete that's not done yet. I'd like to wrap things up by giving you the floor to just give us some final thoughts.
I'd like to say to everybody, nobody is too old to start. It has nothing to do with age. You always can start being active and walking and going to the gym, get a trainer, always possible. Another thing is, it's absolutely worth it to have a strong body, because a stronger body is a stronger mind, 100%. The downfall or the negativity that we have in this world that comes towards on the television and from every part of life, you can handle the stress, the pressure way better if you allow yourself to be lovely for yourself and love yourself enough to work out and to train and to be active. And yeah, that's what I want to give people. Do your thing. I'm 57. A lot of people say, oh, you don't look your age. But it's not only how you look, it's how you feel and what you're capable of. And I think that's way more important than how you look.
Couldn't agree more. Well, there you go, folks. Desiree Winkel. She is definitely an autumn athlete that's not done yet. Remember, keep moving, set your own goals, and train hard to achieve them. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much.